Hello everyone, welcome back to Performance Engineering Insight YouTube channel. In the previous session, we were discussing about the kind of issue that occurs in single user and as well as multi-user load, and also what are the components in the system that can cause the performance issues. So this is what we discussed at very high level. So in this session, we will discuss more on the what is the approach to identify which component is causing the problem, or what should be our approach. So when when there is issue with a single user and as well as a multi-user load. Okay. To start with, we'll see what is the end-to-end response time. End-to-end response time is sum of client side response time, amount of time it's spent in the network layer, and the server response time. Again, server response time includes amount of time it's spent in application server layer and in the database server layer. Okay. Again, there are cases where it will have many more components in the background or in the backend. So then those response times or processing time should be included under server response time. And the network layer, so this is the amount of time it's spent in the network. And client side response time, it is basically, so when we load a page, there are some activity that happens in the client side, so that is we call it as client side response time. Okay, we will see how do we analyze when response times are high under single user activity and multi-user activity. Under single user activity, if response times are high, then we have to understand how much time it has spent in the browser, how much time it has spent in the network layer, and how much time it has spent in application server and as well as database server in detail. Okay. So let us say when we try to load a page, if page load time is 10 seconds, so basically we need to know how much time it spent in the SQL, how much time it spent in the database server layer, how much time it spent in the application server, and how much time it spent in the network, and as well as how much time it spent in the browser. Okay, suppose during our analysis, if we come to know that yes, there are there is significant amount of time spent in the browser, then there are some open source client-side performance testing tools available in the market, like web page test and many more tools. So basically, those tools help us to identify what kind of activity that's happening in the browser, like rendering, JavaScript execution, uh, how much time it takes to load the resources from the server, and so on and so forth. And also it gives us some suggestions saying that, okay, so what are all the areas wherein improvements can be done in order to improve the client side processing time. So, so these are the tools we can make use to tune the processing time at the browser layer. Network we will discuss later. Again, if you identify more response time on the client side, application server layer, then we can do a code profiling. Basically, code profiling uses how many methods that got executed in the background for a execution of the business transactions. Okay, so it gives us how many times each method is executed and what is the processing time for method execution. So basically here it helps us to identify piece of the code which is causing the bottleneck. Suppose if end-to-end response time is 5 seconds, and we can see that how much time is spent in the application server, and within that, which method or which piece of the code is causes response times to go high. So that is one way. And also again, it depends on the application architecture. So even with the help of the logs also, so we can identify which method is taking more time. Again, in some of the applications, there will be a logical layers within the application server as well. So basically, it gives us how much time it's spent in the each and every layer also. Okay. So that kind of information also will be more than more than sufficient for the developers to understand which part of the code is causing the slowness. Okay. So that is what we can do when response time goes high with the single user. And on the database side, each database server gives some utility, which is open source kind of utilities. By the way, for that utility, we need not pay any amount. That's what I meant. It is a free utility, okay, which gives us amount of time each SQL query has taken. Okay. For example, if it is a Oracle, then we have AWR report. If it is a SQL server, we have a SQL and SQL profiler, right? DB2 database, then DB2 snapshot. Yes, there will definitely there will be a utility which gives us SQL elapsed time, and also if we have monitoring tools or APM tools, again APM tools also gives us insights into the database layer. So it gives us how many queries have been executed and how much time it takes for each execution and so on and so forth. So while analyzing the SQL, so we can also make out whether particular SQL has to be executed so many times, that something can be cached, and we can also see whether proper indexes are there. These are the kind of analysis we do while analyzing the R, while looking into the AWR reports or DB2 snapshot or something like that. Okay, so this is something. This is the approach we can follow when we observe issues with the single user load. Again, under the multi-user load, and more than one users are there in the system, and if you observe some performance issues like the way we discussed in the previous session, so we can start with browser. If you see browser, so usually browser should not have any issues under multi-user load, because browser activity is always independent. If two users are accessing some application, then a kind of activity that happens in users one browser is independent of browsers two. So though it is almost independent, but there are some applications where we make a call to the database from the client side. Okay, there are cases, but it is very rare cases. Okay, but most of the cases this part can be ignored. Next is on the application server. During the execution, if you find response time goes high with increase in the user load, or the server is not responding, the server crashed, many other issues. So basically, we can start with understanding application threads. What exactly application threads are doing? Whether application threads are runnable, blocked, waiting. So basically, we need to understand what is the characteristics of the thread, memory footprint. So basically, we need to see how much memory is allocated, and what is the Java application. So what is the frequency of garbage collection, and how much time it takes for each garbage collection. And those are the few things we can check here. And connection pool, thread pool, hardware characteristics are all very straightforward parameters. Basically, we can verify these parameters to see whether these parameters characteristics are causing the performance issue that we are observing. And on the database server, basically we can check wait events, SQL elapsed time, and hardware characteristics. So these are the few things we can check. As I said, AWR reports and DB2 snapshot gives us pretty much very good insights into these parameters, and it helps us to identify whether late events are causing the performance issues, what we observe, or SQL elapsed time, or database, or whatever it is. Okay. So yeah, this is pretty much about performance engineering approach. By the way, this is a theoretical approach. What exactly we do? In the next session, we have one applications where we introduced some performance issues, and so we can show you what exactly we can do. Okay, when something goes wrong with multi-user load as well as single user load. Okay, so using some open source tools. Okay, so that we will discuss in detail in the next session. Thank you for watching this video. If you have any comments, please leave a comment in the below comment section. And if you like it, please like the video and subscribe. Thank you very much.